Welcome back to the Barca Breakdown. My name is Yusef. I'm here with my co-host Adam.
What's up, guys? Smash that subscribe button because, we are so close to getting that second spot in La Liga. And what is so amazing, is we will be at the next Barcelona game.
Let's go
against Getafe this coming weekend on Sunday. But I think first we got to start, with the most depressing part of this game right today against Celta Vigo at the Camp Nou that we won 3-1. Ronald Araujo was seriously injured, it seemed like, on the pitch. He had a head knock with Gavi in that 60th minute. He was carted off the field, as we all saw, and then taken to the hospital. The reports I've seen from Fabrizio Romano are that he is doing okay. He just suffered from a concussion, and, they're going to either keep him at the hospital tonight or let him go home. So it's good to see it's nothing too serious, but that was a scary moment that I think brought us back to, that Euro incident with Christian Eriksen a few years ago, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it was crazy because he was the knock with Gavi, and he tried to run right after that and just collapsed, basically, which was pretty scary because I think Eriksen had a similar situation, but that was his heart. And so luckily it wasn't as severe, and it looks like the reports are good. But overall, this... Well,
here's the good news, right, is that we are currently 7 points ahead of Sevilla. We're at 72. They're at 65. They have a game in hand, but there are only 6 points left in La Liga for us, 9 for them, and it looks like we have that second spot wrapped up. And so as we, finish out the season here and we see some players like Dembele and Fati who have had injury issues in the past, I hope we can just kind of wrap them in bubble wrap, not have them, get injured in the last few days, and then we can get into the summer, which is what I think we are all waiting for, where we can just kind of have everyone rest, get their bodies healthy, and then have Laporta get some signings, because I've seen some bad memes used about the fact that Laporta was saying so much about Haaland, and the news now is he's going to Man City officially. We saw, we remember when Laporta said he cared about Messi so much and hugged his mannequin, and Messi is gone, and so we're hoping to see Laporta come in with some big signings, because even in a game like today, I think what we really saw was the lack of depth we have in midfield, and a continuous issue that whenever Sergio Busquets, who is getting older and older every year, whenever he is not starting, we have an inability to track and to keep control of the midfield, right? And I think when you go into that starting lineup that we had today, you end up seeing that we took a risk, right? We went with two midfielders, basically. And, if you look at that lineup, we had Ter Stegen as the center back, Dani Alves, Ronald Araujo, Eric Garcia, and Jordi Alba in the back four. Then we had Gavi and Frenkie de Jong as, the two out-and-out midfielders in the center. And then up front, we had Dembele, Depay, and Ferran Torres. And then as striker, Aubameyang, who scored a nice brace today. So going with that lineup use and, the issues we're facing, how did you feel about how Xavi lined us up?
It was very risky to me because normally with our midfield that we even have generally, they aren't too great at moving the ball forward, not too great at controlling, sometimes let the ball go or lose it in bad spots, I should say, at least very recently. And, our midfield has been dwindling, right? We've been playing Gavi ever since Pedri has gone out. Then Nico picked up a knock, and then Busquets got a yellow and missed that game. So many things are happening, and I wasn't very confident because, like I said, having a smaller midfield now is just going to mean I feel like there's going to be more holes in the game, and I think it kind of showed, right? Celta Vigo had many opportunities in the first half where they could have scored a goal. I mean, their only goal really came from a mistake from Ter Stegen, in my opinion, but that didn't mean that they couldn't have scored in any other opportunities. I think what really changed this game, though, was Dembele really stepped it up. He's now the leading assist player in all of La Liga, and he just showed it on the pitch today. Very wonderful performance, and I'm very excited to see a possible contract signing with him. But there were some reports out that he's still asking for a lot of money, and so Barcelona obviously can't afford what he's asking for, so there's still a break in what we can get from Dembele, or if we can get him at all, which is pretty unfortunate because now that he's not injured so much, he's actually shining, except for the part that he can't score. Hasn't scored this season really, except for the one goal, I believe. But overall, the game could have been much worse, right? The Celta Vigo team, 11th on the table, have given us trouble in the past. Earlier this season, they drew us 3-3 after we took a 3-0 lead against them. So coming into this game with that kind of lineup was not very reassuring. But we got to go and have really great opportunities with Depay playing very well. The one thing I thought that it was kind of unfortunate was Ter Stegen. He should not have made that pass the way he did. Rajo was backtracking. He just maybe he looked away and then kicked it or whatever. The disconnect was there. And then he didn't cover his near side post once again. And I don't think we've had a clean sheet by Ter Stegen in the last 6 games. So, that is also a little bit worrisome for me. What about you? What did you think about, at least the first half?
Wow, that was a lot, Yus.
It was.
So I think there's a few things I want to talk about, right? The first thing is, it's pretty clear now, going back all the way to the lineup, if Ricky Puig can't start in a game where we don't have Busquets, Pedri, or Nico, it basically means he's got to find a new team this summer, right? There was that performance he had last weekend against Real Betis that inspired some confidence in all the Ricky Puig fans and some of the Spanish media. And if after a performance that was, pretty good, he can't start, really not looking good for him to keep staying here, I think, for him. And it's not even a matter of Barcelona whether we need him. It's more of him as a player. Like, he's given so much to this team. I feel like he needs to go somewhere else and prove himself if coaches continuously, don't give him the time of day. He, again, had a sub-performance that was pretty good, I thought, overall. And he does bring something that Gavi and Pedri don't. Doesn't mean he's better than them, but definitely he has a different dynamic and play style than them, and one that I think we could utilize even with his drawbacks in terms of, hit or miss performances and his lack of physical stature. I think, going into the game, we saw some recurring themes that kind of make me worried, right? Which is Ferran Torres, again, was pretty absent from that first and second half. He didn't provide almost any offensive threat, and I'm not exactly sure what the issue is. Sometimes when you have Jordi Alba, who is such an offensive-minded left back and who's able to create so much, I think they just haven't figured out how to play together well, right? It either seems like in games we have Jordi Alba creating offense and bombing forward, or we leave Ferran Torres up there to interplay and to dribble in from the left side. But I'm not exactly sure why, but whenever Ferran Torres tries to create offense from that left side and pass it in, it just doesn't seem like he connects with Aubameyang. Dembele, who's looking more like an assist giver and dribbler, isn't really in the box crowding to put anything in, and so I was disappointed there to see Ferran Torres, and I'm just hoping that we can figure out how to utilize him properly once the summer comes. I thought, Aubameyang, that first half was really bad until he scored a goal, right? He's kind of starting to remind me a lot of Luis Suarez in his last 2 years at Barca, where, an older Suarez wasn't able to provide that much link-up play and that much in the build-up, and so he was really just, okay, he might tap it in or Messi might get a nice assist to him. Aubameyang's kind of the same, right? Like, anytime we need him to drop deeper to try and help create space, he's just not that guy. But you get Ousmane Dembele, you get Aubameyang with that old Dortmund connection. You have Dembele just torching defenders, moving up forward and then crossing it inside. And, if Aubameyang just gets one shot on the ball, that's all he needs to score, and he proved it today with a brace. And I think, like you said, the story of the game is for sure Dembele. Depay did fairly well. I mean, without Busquets, Barca have struggled for the last almost 5 to 10 years here, right? Even when we had Messi, anytime Busquets was out of the lineup, we really struggled, and this game was kind of more of the same. Without him in the midfield, with Gavi and Frenkie kind of playing as a double pivot a little bit, it just seemed like we couldn't find a good footing in that first half until we realized, okay, we're not going to be able to drive the ball up forward on the wings or through the middle, and so what we need to do is we need to catch people one-on-one with Ferran Torres, or we need to have Depay make a run like he did in that second goal and have Jordi Alba, drop it over the top. And so that was kind of my thoughts. I mean, what do you think? What do you think about how we're going to go forward? Because if you look at what happened with the cards in this game, right, we don't have Frenkie de Jong for the next game. We don't have Eric Garcia. We don't have Jordi Alba. And so I don't really know what helter-skelter crew Xavi's going to be able to put out there, but you have to be a little bit worried about, what the next 2 games are. I mean, how do you kind of balance the fact that, okay, we don't have anyone to play, so anyone we do have, we have to play, and the fact that, we're 7 up on Sevilla, and if top 2 is really our goal to get into that Spanish Super Cup, then, we do need to get some points here from the last few games.
Yeah, I mean, it is going to be really tough, right? Rajo's probably not going to play, I mean, who knows? But I don't think he should be playing just to make sure. And so we'll probably see Lenglet, Eric Garcia. Oh, sorry. No, he's going to be out for that game.
Yeah.
So Lenglet. Oh, Jesus. It's getting worse, to be honest.
It's no Lenglet and Titi. Are we going to see Lenglet and Titi? That
I
is
don't
a duo
know.
I haven't seen in quite some time.
Oh no, yeah. When I was just thinking about that, I was like,
mean,
oh my
who's going to
God.
cover? Think about it, right? We have Dani Alves, no Serginho Dest. Who's going to play that left back spot, right? Do we have Balde still? I haven't even thought of that name in a few months here. And so, I mean, it should be very interesting to see what we pull out. I mean, the good news is Yus will be there, right? I'm a little bit sad we won't see Frenkie de Jong, but we'll see Dembele, hopefully, Depay, Torres, Aubameyang. And then I guess the real question I have for you, Yus, is how do you evaluate Ansu Fati in today's game? Because on my end, I'm a little bit worried he's lost some pace with that knee injury, but it's also hard to tell if he's just kind of taking it a bit easy because he's just getting back to game form. Although, man, Fati is giving me the same vibes that Dembele has for the last 2 seasons, where there was one moment where Fati went down in the box clutching his leg, and I was like, oh my God, is this the worst nightmare about to happen? He's gotten re-injured. How have you felt about Fati in this game?
I think he came in and he came in at a time where we were already up by so much. He was just looking to play off of what he could. He scored in last game when he came in as a sub, a very important goal. So I think he's just probably tempering what he can do, and so that he doesn't re-injure it. We're so close to this summer. He'll have plenty of more time to practice, make sure and heal up and be ready for next season. I think he's just trying not to risk anything too crazy coming into the end of the year. I would much rather him come into a game like this and just try what he can and not overdo anything. So I think we got plenty of time for him, and that's my opinion on what he was doing in this game, and that's okay with me because I want him just to get a feel of the ball, connecting with different players that he probably hasn't played with or haven't had a lot of time with. I think he should be very safe for this moment. I think we said the same thing about Dembele. We don't want them hurt. We need them. They are very important into, practicing with the other players and getting to know each other, because that's one problem when you're out for so many months, especially we got 3 players in January. If you don't play with any of those people, you come in later. He does have knack for goal, so that's a positive. He'll always be looking to score. But, there's still something to say when you play 90 minutes, right? You should know your teammates, know how they move, how they work, read their minds essentially, right? So I'm not too worried about it. Mm-hmm.
No, go ahead.
Oh, no, that was the end of it. Sorry.
Oh, well, let us know in the comments. What do you guys think? How are you feeling about Fati? Are we going to run an Umtiti Lenglet lineup this Sunday when Yus are there? Yus and I are there in Madrid against Getafe. Let us know what you guys think. Smash that subscribe button, and we will be back from Spain in a few days here. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.